Ever considered the intricate story behind Nigeria's current geopolitical state? Let's journey back in time to explore the origins of Nigeria's geopolitics. Positioned at the core of West Africa, Nigeria is more than just a nation. It houses a rich array of cultures, languages, and ethnic groups. Its diversity, as amplified as the land it encompasses, is home to over 200 million citizens. In the pre-colonial period, Nigeria was a diverse land filled with various ethnic communities and influential kingdoms. The House of Fulani in the north, the Yoruba in the west, and the Igbo in the east were among these groups. Each group, with its unique culture, political systems, and economy, contributed to a vibrant mosaic of human civilization. Yet the late-century arrival of the British triggered significant changes. British colonial rule was enforced, and in 1914, the northern and southern protectorates were unified to conceive what we now call Nigeria. This unification was more a matter of British administrative convenience, but it brought together ethnic communities with varying languages, cultures, and political structures. This union gave birth to a nation with diverse power structures, economic interests, and cultural practices varying significantly from one region to another. The north, primarily Muslim and influenced by Islamic emirates, greatly differed from the south, which was Christian and traditionalist, with a more fragmented and diverse political structure. The unification marked the start of a complex relationship among the ethnic communities. The British indirect rule policy further magnified these complexities, deepening the north-south divide and priming the conditions for future conflicts and power struggles. Hence, the seeds of Nigeria's current geopolitical state were sown by the British in 1914. Uniting different groups under a single administrative entity resulted in a diverse but divided country. Nigeria's present-day geopolitical landscape is a direct product of these historical events and decisions. The unification set the stage for a complicated geopolitical environment, but this was merely the start. If you found this insightful, don't forget to like our content, share it with your network, and subscribe to our channel for more. As we journey further into Nigeria's history, we encounter the dawn of independence and the shadows of military rule. On the first day of October, 1960, Nigeria broke free from the shackles of British colonial rule. This milestone marked the beginning of an era of self-determination, sovereignty, and initial euphoria. The air was with optimism and the promise of a bright future. However, the journey to self-governance was not as smooth as initially hoped. Just six years post-independence, the military stepped into the political. The country was plunged into a series of coups and counter-coups, creating an atmosphere of instability and fear. The first military coup in 1966 marked the beginning of a turbulent period that would last for nearly 3 decades. This era was characterized by struggle between ethnic groups, leading to the infamous Biafra War. The Civil War, which lasted from 1967 to 1970, was a desperate and bloody fight for secession by the southeastern provinces, primarily inhabited by the Igbo people. This conflict had a profound impact on the geopolitical landscape, heightening ethnic tensions and regional disparities. The rule was not all doom and gloom, though. During this time that Nigeria experienced a boom. The newfound wealth, however, came with its own set of challenges, including corruption and the uneven distribution of resources. Fast forward to 1999, Nigeria turned anew when it transitioned back to a democratic government. The return to civilian rule was seen as a beacon of hope, a chance to correct past mistakes and forge a path towards a more stable and prosperous future. As we deeper into Nigeria's geopolitical climate, we'll see how these issues play out in the context of democracy, corruption, and the resource curse. Despite the tumultuous times, Nigeria transitioned back to a democratic government, but the effects of military rule lingered. The shadows of this era continue to shape Nigeria's geopolitical climate, with issues such as corruption, ethnic tension, and resource control still prevalent today. The return to democratic rule was a beacon of hope, but how did it influence Nigeria's geopolitical climate? Let's journey back to 1999. Nigeria, having endured decades of military rule, was finally transitioning to a democratic government. A new chapter was beginning and hope was ablaze. However, amidst the jubilation, there were persistent issues that threatened to mar the optimism. Firstly, corruption. This is not a problem unique to Nigeria, but the scale and pervasiveness in this country have been particularly damaging. Corruption has seeped into every layer of society, from the highest echelons of power to the most basic public services. This systemic corruption has not only stifled economic growth, but also undermined the trust of the people in their government. Next, we have economic instability. Despite being Africa's largest economy, Nigeria has struggled to translate this wealth into widespread prosperity. A significant portion of the population still lives in poverty. The disparity between the rich and the poor continues to widen, creating a volatile environment ripe for social unrest. And then there's the resource, a paradoxical phenomenon where countries rich in natural resources, like Nigeria with its abundant oil reserves, suffer rather than prosper. Instead of fueling economic growth, these resources have often led to conflict, poor governance, and environmental degradation. The over-reliance on oil revenues has made the Nigerian economy vulnerable to global oil price fluctuations, leading to periods of boom and bust. So what has been the impact of these issues on Nigeria's geopolitical climate? Well, they've contributed to a complex and often unstable environment. They've shaped Nigeria's relationships with other countries, particularly those with vested interests in its oil. And they've influenced how Nigeria positions itself on the global stage. While democracy brought about some positive changes, Nigeria continues to grapple with significant challenges. The story of Nigeria's geopolitical climate is one of resilience in the face of adversity, but also a reminder of the work that still needs to be done. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Nigeria's geopolitical climate isn't isolated. So, how does it fit into the global context? Let's delve into that. Nigeria, often referred to as the Giant of Africa, wields significant influence on the continent. Its population, the largest in Africa, combined with its abundant resources, sets it apart as a key player. Nigeria's voice resonates within regional bodies like the Economic Community of West African States, where it has often led peacekeeping missions and mediation efforts. On the global stage, Nigeria is a respected member of international organizations. Its membership in the United Nations, for instance, has seen it contribute to peacekeeping missions worldwide. Within the African Union, Nigeria has been instrumental in pushing for greater economic integration and political unity among African nations. Now let's talk about Nigeria's economic potential. With a rich reservoir of natural resources, including oil and gas, Nigeria's economy holds immense promise. Its burgeoning tech and entertainment industries, known as Nollywood, garner international attention, further solidifying its global economic standing. However, Nigeria's geopolitical climate is affected by global issues. Climate change, for instance, poses a significant threat. The encroaching Sahara Desert in the north and rising sea levels in the south have led to displacement and increased competition for resources, exacerbating ethnic tensions. Terrorism is another global issue impacting Nigeria. Groups like Boko Haram have destabilized the northeastern region, creating a humanitarian crisis. This issue extends beyond Nigeria's borders, affecting regional security in the Lake Chad Basin area and drawing international attention. It's not all doom and gloom. Nigeria has shown resilience and a capacity to adapt. It has made strides in renewable energy, combating desertification, and countering terrorism. It's a testament to Nigeria's capability to navigate these global challenges while asserting its influence on the world stage. In wrapping up this scene, it's clear that Nigeria's geopolitics is a complex interplay of domestic issues and global dynamics. It's a dance of strength and vulnerability, of influence and adaptation. It's a narrative that continues to unfold as Nigeria finds its footing on the global. As we look ahead, what does the future hold for Nigeria's geopolitical climate? Nigeria stands at a crossroads, facing a myriad of challenges that threaten to destabilize its geopolitical landscape. Ethnic tensions, a residue of the country's diverse tribal composition, continue to simmer beneath the surface. The issue of insecurity, heightened by the activities of insurgent groups, poses a significant challenge to the nation's unity and stability. Economic inequality, another pressing concern, is further exacerbated by a burgeoning population, with the wealth gap appearing ever more pronounced. The country's reliance on oil, a resource subject to global price fluctuations, has led to economic instability, hindering efforts to alleviate poverty and improve living conditions. Yet, despite these daunting challenges, there are glimmers of hope in the horizon. Nigeria, often referred to as the Giant of Africa, possesses a youthful and dynamic population, a potential powerhouse that could drive significant economic and social progress. Harnessing this demographic dividend, though, requires substantial investment in education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. Furthermore, Nigeria's vast natural resources offer immense potential for economic diversification. The country's fertile lands could foster a robust agricultural sector, while its mineral deposits remain largely untapped. A strategic shift towards these sectors could spur economic growth, reduce dependence on oil, and help bridge the economic inequality gap. In the international arena, Nigeria has the potential to assert its influence and leverage strategic position for economic political gain. Its leadership in regional bodies like the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, could be instrumental in advancing its geopolitical interests. The future of Nigeria's geopolitical climate is uncertain, but it is clear that understanding its past and present is crucial for shaping a more prosperous and peaceful future. It is a tale of a nation grappling with its challenges while holding on to the promise of its potential. The road ahead may be fraught with obstacles, but the journey towards progress, though arduous, is a path worth treading. As we delve deeper into the complexities of Nigeria's geopolitical climate, we appreciate your time spent with us. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to leave your comments below.